Hey everybody, you know who this is. It is week 9, I believe, on running on T 2011. And this week's topic is LGBT and where does the T lie, or where does it belong? Does it belong in the acronym LGBT? Well, the first thing I want to say is a long time ago when I entered the queer community, it was not called the LGBT community in the first place. It was called the GLBT community, meaning gays were put first, GLBT. But then, with the whole women's rights thing, it was like, oh, well, women should be first. So all of a sudden, the lesbians are at the forefront of the battlefield, so to speak. And I don't really think that that's fair. Another thing I don't think is fair is that trans people are considered at the end of it. We are often forgotten, and the T in the LGBT often seems silent because a lot of jobs and places recognize that they can't discriminate based on sexual orientation. However, they do not recognize that a person has the freedom to transition and to express whatever gender identity they see fit for themselves. Most companies will not tolerate this, and they require you to work as your birth gender, which for me, I know is very, very uncomfortable considering I work in a very close quarters environment with other people. My job is hands on because I'm a massage therapist, and the human body and my relation to it, to my own and to other people's, is very determined by my gender. Um, the boundaries are completely different from a man working on a woman to a woman working on a woman. And you would think that they would be pretty uniform because everybody's professional and holds the same ethics and standards, which is true. However, people forget to take into account the general perception that massage therapists are about sex, and especially male therapists. They catch a lot of bad flack and a lot of bad assumption again that is what we are looking for when we pursue clientele and are trying to sell our services. So especially women clients are wary, very wary of male therapists. I recently read about a pending lawsuit of a woman suing a male massage therapist because she thought he was gay and he massaged her breasts during the massage, which she consented to, which makes it not illegal because he asked. And then she later found out that he was not gay and is suing him, which you cannot sue somebody for their sexual orientation. So I hope that since he abided by the laws of massage therapy, that he will be let go because they're ridiculous accusations in the first place. And that woman shouldn't have just assumed that he was gay because he's a massage therapist. So sexual orientation and gender is something that is very, very pertinent to my life, as what I do for a living, as well as regarding my transition. I did openly transition on the job at the last real good paying job that I had for 6 months. At first, they were actually really respectful, and had a lot of questions. They were mainly just really confused about what name they should call me and when they should start calling me that name, because there was some issues with when I really wanted people to switch over to calling me Jacob, from Noah or from Devin or from however they knew me before. But yeah, so the trans thing, I know that I, as a person, am allowed anywhere that other human beings are, and just because I'm transgender does not make me feel like I am unwelcome in places. In fact, if anything, at this certain point in my life where I'm at, I feel like I fit in both places, which is weird to say, but honestly, I am still being perceived as female now, except when I talk. So, like, now if I think someone's reading me as a female, I don't talk so that I can pass that off. But if I'm trying to be perceived as male, the first thing I'll do is speak so that they can hear my voice. But yeah, I mean, I can fit into both men's and women's spaces, which is actually quite a blessing. I mean, I was pretty androgynous before taking testosterone, and now that I'm on it and have been on it for over 8 months, um, I struggled with this, but I'm actually still happy to say that I'm still androgynous. I still feel both bigendered on certain, days. And well, I mean, mentally, I know that I'm male. The only thing that physically reminds me that I was quote unquote female is the fact that I still have the physical attributes, meaning genitalia, of a female since I haven't had surgery yet. And I am not really hip to jumping on the bandwagon to going and getting surgery as soon as possible just so I can change my gender marker, which I realize is a big step in transition, and I'll be happy once it's done and over with, because that's a big challenge, gathering all the money and then finding the right doctors and then praying for, good results that you can actually get something out of. But basically, LGBT being at the end, trans being silent, it's not okay with me, and I plan on maybe trying to make a bit more of a name for trans people in Arizona when I get there, because I do want to be an advocate for trans people. Maybe not necessarily for the L and the G part of the LGBT, because I have been sort of disowned by lesbians and by gay men numerous times. But I am bisexual and I do identify as trans. So the B and the T part of the acronym really do fit for me, and therefore I fit in, like I said, anywhere that I want to. I don't think it's okay that people feel like they can just blow off transgender persons or treat them like freaks, because if anything, we are better people because we've been through more and we know more about life. And generally, this is just my experience, but LGBT people tend to, on a larger scale, be smarter more collectively than heteronormative people. So I really think that the whole BS about trans people trying to disidentify with the LGBT part of the acronym is a little silly, because like the other arguments have been presented, we have more in common with them than we do not. We are both fighting constantly to get our rights recognized by everyone, and we want the government to keep their hands off of our bodies. But at the same time, I think that most transgender people would really love to be eligible, one, for medical insurance, and two, to have their medical insurance actually cover parts of their transition, such as hormones and operations and things of that nature. Legal services, such as name changes, which are quite a hassle to deal with, and if you've ever gone through it, then you understand, and you don't have to be trans to actually want or need to go through any of these things. It's just a matter of the fact that if you do identify as trans, you should be treated as no less than any other person. So my last point I want to make is I'm sitting here eating my lovely mwah. This is a big fuck you, but my cheeseburger from McDonald's, where a transgender woman was recently attacked, and the employees did nothing but stand by and watch while two customers literally royally beat her ass. So, all this nonsense about boycotting McDonald's, I don't think that's what we need to do. Like, the gay people have Day of Silence, doesn't make any sense, because if you are gay, you need to speak up and be politically active and loud about it. So guess what? I'm trans, and a trans woman just got beat up in a McDonald's. Guess what that means? I'm going to go into McDonald's as much as humanly possible from now on and make sure that they understand and realize that I am transgender. And guess what? If somebody has a problem with it, or if I get my ass kicked for it, the first people I'm calling is the news, because guess what? I'm fighting fucking back. So anyway, that's all I have to say. I'm at 10 minutes. Please watch. Love you all. Peace out.